Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of One Piece episode 596. Now, if you remember from last episode, we find out Brook, Sanji, and Zoro find the samurai's body. However, the torso is still missing. Now, the assumption is that the samurai's torso must be in the sea, which is right in front of them, because the samurai is a devil fruit user, which means if he's exposed to seawater, the rest of his body is going to go numb and he's going to be paralyzed. So again, the assumption is that the samurai's torso is in the sea, which is right in front of them, which is in the same direction of Smiley. Now, Smiley, if you forget, is that pink blob that Caesar Clown kind of created out of poisonous gas about a couple years back. And Smiley is just a creepy fucking name in my opinion. But sorry, I digress. Moving on past that, we are taken to a little cutscene with Law and Chopper. Now, Law and Chopper are about to enter the back door of the laboratory, and they have a decent plan picked out where they're going to kidnap Caesar Clown. However, out of nowhere, Luffy appears and wrecks that plan, and he's calling out Caesar Clown. And again, that's where the episode ends. And all my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Caesar Clown's men and the Navy, and they're attempting to attack the Straw Hats. Come on. Everyone's trying to go after the Straw Hats now. You've got Caesar Clown's men, Brownbeard's men, and now the Navy. They're all after the Straw Hats. Guess what? It's not happening. They are out of luck because they just suck. Yeah, I said that. They just suck. Now, moving on past that, we are taking to a little cutscene with Law and Chopper. Yeah, they're ignoring the fight. They're ignoring that Luffy is there. He's wrecked everything. They're ignoring that G5 and the Navy's there. And they're ignoring Caesar Clown's personal henchmen. And they're going to go into the laboratory anyways. I'm like, aren't you the most sweetest guys in the world? Let's forget about the alliance. Let's just go in and kidnap Caesar Clown. Good luck. Good luck. Now, moving on past that, we are taken to another scene, but with Tashigi. Now, if you remember correctly, Tashigi is in Smoker's body. And you know what? I don't really care. It's Tashigi. She's good with the blade, but Smoker's body just does not fit her. But anyways, Tashigi, she takes on Luffy. I'm like, really? Tashigi, she grows some cojones, and she's taking on Luffy. Now, Luffy thinks that he's battling Smoker and not Tashigi, so he has no idea what Law did to them right now. But it was getting good because Luffy is now fighting Tashigi. However, I should point out, the kids, because we are taking to a little cutscene, the kids that, Usopp and Nami are looking at are now waking up. And you're wondering, oh shit, are they going to go after Luffy and everyone else and go insane? No, not really. These kids awake, and they're going all crazy, all psychotic, and Usopp hits them with the sleeping gas, but it's not working. At first. But later on, the sleeping gas does knock out the kids, which are the giants, may I add, and they go back to sleep, and Usopp is kind of telling Nami, next time these kids awake, I don't think the sleeping gas is going to affect them as much as it has been doing. So we don't really know what's going to happen to these kids. They could interfere with Luffy and the Straw Hats that are fighting, G5 and Caesar Clown's men. We really have no idea. But you know what? It could pose a threat later on. Just putting that out there. Now, moving on past that, we are taken back to the fight between Tashigi and Luffy. It didn't happen. In fact, it wasn't even drawn out because Smoker, he comes out of nowhere, who is in Tashigi's body, because if you remember correctly, Tashigi is in Smoker's body. Smoker is in fact in Tashigi's body, which her body's amazing, by the way, because she's practically wearing nothing. She looks like Robin to an extent, just to an extent, but sorry, I digress. Again, Smoker is now fighting Luffy, and Luffy, he learns the truth about Smoker being, in Tashigi's body and vice versa, and the whole time he's laughing. He loses his composure in the middle of the fight, and Luffy starts laughing. He's not taking this seriously. I'm like, no. He's not taking this fight seriously at all. And we're taken to a little cutscene with the rest of the Straw Hats, and they're fighting pretty good in my opinion. We see Robin, she's on fire. We see Frankie, he's on fire. Believe it or not, Frankie is on fire. It's the Straw Hats. They're fucking amazing. Now, moving on past that, we do find out Luffy, he gives Smoker a way out, because Smoker isn't as strong as he should be because he doesn't have his Devil Fruit powers. Although the Sea Stone that's on his weapon is pretty effective against Luffy, Luffy is pretty fast. It's not the same Luffy from a few years ago. This is a whole new Luffy. And again, Luffy, he's giving Smoker a way out. You know, like, get your shit together, get back into your body, and then we'll fight again. And then we see Frankie. He uses his radical beam. I love that laser beam, by the way. But again, Frankie, he uses his radical beam and blows the doors away off of the laboratory. He clears a path for everyone. It's beautiful, in my opinion. I love seeing that. However, right about now, you're wondering, is Frankie out of juice? Is he out of his Coca-Cola? You know, that stuff that energizes him up? We really don't know, because he is not like the Energizer Bunny. He's going to run out of juice. And I'm waiting for him to run out. I thought he was going to run out then, but no, he's still packed of energy. But, you know, moving on past that, of course, we find out Smiley appears. Yeah, that big pink blob of gas appears out of nowhere. So Smiley, he appears kind of out of nowhere. Again, we don't know if it's a girl or a guy because it's a blob, of course. Maybe it's a unisexual blob. We'll go with that. It's a uni. It's a uni. It's a new word I just made up. But anyways, Smiley does appear out of nowhere, and he's approaching what appears to be G5's ship. So Smiley is kind of there and kind of not. It's like a smaller version of Smiley, and then we see smaller versions of Smiley like all across the G5's ship. And Smiley's not really attacking anyone at first, but he is on the Navy vessel. Definitely worth mentioning. Now, speaking of G5, we are taking to a little cutscene with G5's crew, which is on the ship, and they're trying to attack the pink blob known as Smiley. At first, one of the crew members decides to attack Smiley head-on after putting a gas mask on. Not so much. He's been burnt pretty bad by the poison. Now, moving on past that, we do find out G5 steps it up, and they use flamethrowers. I shit you not, they've gone World War II Vietnamish on us, and they're using flamethrowers. Come on, poisonous gas with flames. That's not a red flag? Come on, it's like butane, you know, you light propane or butane, and it goes like that. Yeah, guess what? It goes like that. The whole fucking G5 ship explodes. Genius. Okay, Smoker, I know this crew of yours is like the envy of the Navy. You know, they're slackers, they're scoundrels, what have you, scavengers. But really, they don't even have brains. You know, that's just me. I would have picked out former ex-pirates, not former ex-dumbasses that are even worse than present dumbasses. But sorry, I digress. But again, the crew that was on the ship belonging to G5, they're all dead. Unless somehow they were miraculously saved by someone. Yeah, the crew members that were on board the G5 vessel are all dead. And Smiley, or the smaller versions of Smiley, which are now in one form, have dispersed. They've exploded. So now the ship is gone, the crew is gone, Smiley appears to be gone. Now moving on past that, we are taken to a little cutscene with Sanji. Yeah, Sanji's group, if you remember correctly, they're going after the samurai's torso, and they discover the bigger version of Smiley on a different location on the island. And this different version of Smiley is reproducing smaller versions of himself and sending him off in the direction of Luffy's group. And this kind of doesn't really go anywhere. This is what they learn about. They learn that a blob is reproducing itself. They don't attack it. They don't really do anything, which I thought was kind of weird, because I'm like, you're just going to sit there? Now, I thought they had a snail transponder on them. I thought Sanji may have brought a communicating device with them to tell Luffy what he found. I'm waiting for that. We don't see that, though. Maybe they're just waiting for something to happen. Or maybe they're just going to stall. Do a filler next episode probably on something. We really don't know. But anyways, Sanji's group in general, they discover Smiley's other body and how Smiley's reproducing the smaller versions of himself. And they pretty much do nothing. Now we are taken to a little cutscene with Caesar Clown. I know, Caesar Clown appears out of nowhere at the end of the episode. And he's no longer in his lab. Caesar Clown appears right in front of Luffy. And he's a dumbass, because the reason why I'm calling Caesar Clown a dumbass, he goes into his evil monologue on how he created Smiley and what Smiley's capable of doing, where you shouldn't be saying that. Come on, Smoker's there, and he's not a dumbass. He knows what he's going to do next. And Caesar Clown, he's going over everything about Smiley. This is everything a villain should not fucking do. This is your ace in your sleeve, and you're telling everyone what it's capable of doing, how you created it, and so on and so forth. And guess what? While Caesar Clown was doing his evil monologue, Luffy, out of nowhere, attacks Caesar Clown. He catches Caesar Clown off guard, and that's where the episode ends. As for final thoughts, are you fucking kidding me? Luffy for the motherfucking win. Luffy, you took advantage of Caesar Clown's evil monologue, and more power to you. And even more power to you, you defeated Smoker, and you gave him a way out while Smoker was in Tashigi's body. Not only have you matured, you're thinking. Your head is in the game. I love this. This is the kind of main character we love to see in Luffy, within the Straw Hat crew in general. He took advantage of Caesar Clown going off in his evil monologue that he was able to catch Caesar Clown off guard. That's what we like to see. But moving on past that, what about Smoker's crew? You know, G5, which was on the vessel. Do you see me with any sympathy? No. Your crew is a bunch of dumbasses. They deserve to fucking fry. Moving on. As for Sanji's group, I'm not really expecting much. I thought maybe they might communicate with Luffy's group to tell him what they found. Maybe they will destroy this other Smiley. Maybe not. We really don't know. As for Law and Chopper, they're now inside the laboratory in the back door, and they're looking for Caesar Clown. Caesar Clown is no longer in the laboratory, so maybe this is just a witch hunt. They're going inside. What are they going to find? We really don't know. Maybe they're going to find that empty, the little empty room full of frozen convicts and whatnot and free them. We, again, really don't know. But again, that is it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, 4 out of 5. I love this episode only because we got to see Luffy catch Caesar Clown off guard. We got to see both Tashigi and Smoker fight Luffy. And we also got to see more of a mature side of Luffy. So we got to see Luffy in a different light. Got to see him more mature, give Smoker a way out, which is definitely rare, at least in my opinion. And well, that just about does it in my opinion. Again, final rating 4 out of 5. I love this episode. And that is it for my walkthrough and review of One Piece episode 596. But again, guys, comment down below. Let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Definitely subscribe. Check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode that's coming out, because I can't wait to see what's going to happen between Caesar Clown and Luffy. But again, guys, that ends for now, and I got to hit the bricks, and I got to go. And before I go, I got to say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.